Got it. Boom. Welcome back, Lando Sports and Entertainment. We're one of my good friends, business partners, coaches, mentors, the whole 9 yards. Folks, please welcome to Lando Sports, Mr. Jerry Hunter.
Thank you for the welcome. You forgot one thing, brothers.
Others, I get it. My bad. Starting off the new. I'm glad I didn't take this into the new year. I'm glad it's the day before New Year's, so now we can go ahead and correct that. Yeah. So here's the thing, bro. No holidays and all that stuff like that. But how you been? I haven't seen you probably in several months.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. Last time we spoke, we were in the wilderness. You know, hiding keys on your butt, cooking out, and then embracing it. I'm still a husband, still a father, friend, a coach, son, uncles. So all the titles that we have to wear, they call them hat. The definition of them all defines me.
So let me ask you that. I get you wear a lot of hats and people always saying good things about you. I mean, that got to be a lot of weight to carry because people say you saved their life, you changed their lives, you saved this, you did this, almost like a John Thompson with Allen Iverson. How true is that? You can, just expound on that a little bit.
Well, I think, um, being a product of the environment.
Right.
So when I get a call, I listen and then share my information. I tell them, and I say, man, if you use it, it's advice. If not, it's just information. And it may be information that you can share with someone else. So rather than putting a spin on it or trying to be judgmental of it, it's more of an outlook of, what's going to help you. And then more so or less, what's going to help you grow. And, I've been in the school system here in Richmond County for 20 plus years and seen a lot, but there's been a lot of people that helped me as well. Spry was very, very instrumental in the man that I've come to be.
Got it. You mentioned earlier we talked about Columbia. You from that area, and I was you from Casey, Brook.
Well, actually, West Columbia, but by way of a little town called Dixiana.
Never heard of it.
Dixiana, yeah, man. Home of Deuce Staley, I guess I can say. And then, of course, I went to school in Casey,
Right, right.
Casey, Brooklyn, Casey High School. And those students from Brooklyn, Casey were kids that lived in Casey and West Columbia. So it was like a perfect storm for the kids there. And then, of course, some other things changed, but my foundation is Dixiana.
Got it. I'm asking that because I know I saw you good partner of yours who was doing some DJing at the games. Several games in Columbia. I was up there, the Epic Hoop Feast at CA Johnson. And then the other day I was at a tournament, Christmas tournament over at can't think, but anyway, I saw some really good basketball players over there. They were over at the Christmas tournament. It was in Lexington High School. Saw North Augusta was over there playing. Fox Creek was playing. Horse Creek, and I think that's who you guys are playing in a couple of days. They were playing with Walt Jackson, and I was amazed at some of those 5A schools. I hadn't really seen it's a different type of basketball over there than it is over here. Do you see that when you were coming from that area, when you were coming up? And of course, I know you played in a couple of tournaments over there because that's your hometown. So, do you see a difference in basketball in the Columbia area versus the Augusta area?
Oh, then and now. Then the basketball that I grew up on was basically no air conditions in the gym during the summer. We're playing outside. We were a lot tougher.
Hmm.
I had to grow to understand, transitioning from the baseball field to the basketball court, that naturally it's a team sport, but the mental toughness, man, that it requires to compete. And we played with a lot of guys that were older than us.
Right,
I think now kids, they play with guys their age,
right.
and then whether it was pickup ball, basketball games, whatever, defense was a priority. All right, it's back in the late '80s, early '90s. So prioritizing defense simply means that requires the team to play. Now everything is geared towards offense. Offense, one person has the ball. What are the other four guys doing? Probably wanting the basketball.
True,
Okay,
true,
so
true.
we were taught to share. If you share, you care. All right, a lot of guys now, a lot of shots are going up, especially 3-point shots.
Oh yeah,
But at the same time, everything was inside out. And that's how I try to teach the game to make sure we still respect the nuance of it.
got it. Speaking of which, the tournament coming up, I guess if you will, on Thursday, bringing the new year with basketball. I know you guys probably have practice today. How's that transition been for you moving to another school, another county? Almost like you're in the transfer portal. I mean, like you're in the transfer, but like these guys, in the transfer portal. You went from middle school baseball, high school baseball, school in Richmond County, another school in Richmond County, and another school in Columbia County. You're in the transfer portal. Like, how much eligibility do you have left, bro?
Well, it's opportunity. I always say this, man. What I have learned since I have went to the other side to that other county, Old Town High School, by
Okay.
the way, I call it God's Town. But when I was at Laney, West Side, as far as being in Grove Town, the one thing that they all have in common, as far as the common denominator, man, is the kids. A lot of those kids, the environments are a little different, but they're all the same when it comes to basketball. Comes to entitlement, a lot of kids now are entitled no matter what county you're in. I always hear coaches say, man, the kids don't want to play hard. So entitlement is not just in one area, now it's across the board. But the one thing I could say is work ethic. I continue to harp on that because you don't develop these kids' work ethic at the right age. And sometimes basketball, football, baseball, or sport can be the tool. Because right now, sports are the fabric of this community. No secret. All right. So why shy away from it and act like it's not? Use it as a tool to build.
100%.
All right. But then at the same time, you got to have the right people who understand how to use the tools.
Yeah.
Some brick masons don't know how to turn a wrench.
Okay.
All right. Some auto mechanics don't know how to lay bricks.
That's right.
But so you got to work with the tools that you got. But then when you get someone who understands both, you got to maximize their potential and allow them to help grow other coaches.
I was telling Coach Butler at Frost Creek, I said, you and I have come a long way. And I don't remember how I met you at Westside at the funny. Yeah, we was at a recreation. I don't know if I met you intentionally or just ran into you coincidentally. Do you recall how I don't know if I met you intentionally, I just bumped into you. I don't know how that even happened.
We met just like I met, just like Road Town.
Yeah,
It was divine intervention, as they would call it.
got it.
We were both there supporting kids.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just like when we had, I think they had the firemen and police officers
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
big
yeah.
game back in the days.
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
met there, so we were in the right places at the right time, and then shared a few ideas. And a lot of people say, "Hey, man, give me your number. I'll call you back," or "Man, we'll get together." But you and I decided to put something together to help some kids, and ever since those black uniforms that you got for us back
Chill,
then,
bro. Chill. Chill out.
all right,
Chill.
we've been on and popping since then.
Chill, bro, chill. And I'll tell people the story all the time. And it's like I'm gonna leave that where it's at. But yeah, man, it's like I'm be very honest when I tell anybody this. It's like there was a part when Ali told Cosell. He said, "I made you, Cosell." And for you, I think you helped me in so many ways with my company. When I was like, again, I didn't coach anywhere. I didn't play anywhere. I'm just some random dude out the trunk printing shirts and putting jerseys together and names on the back of and all that stuff. So I'm still like, oh, the t-shirt man. But you took me under your wing and everywhere you went, you kind of brought me along. So I'm like Cosell and you like Ali. As you see on the picture up here, Ali, some of my favorite pictures with Ali. Tommy Smith had a chance to meet that gentleman at a Payne College auction way back in 2002, 2003.
Respect.
Of course, Magic Johnson up there, of course, and a little bit of the other stuff over here. And behind you, I got this with the highest from the to the middle to the right to the bottom is the most important to me. So okay, so Tommy Smith, no relation, but his story when it comes to sports, you know the story.
Yeah.
And the same thing you see with Magic and Dion and Ali. And then you get down here to this picture. I just had to fill the space over here. But yeah, I do appreciate you, man, for just bringing me along underneath the wings. And when people are like, who is this Lando Sports? Who is this puppy toe guy? And hopefully, I have left a positive name around your area. What do you think?
Yeah, I think what's in it for me,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
WIIFM,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
respect them,
Mm-hmm.
and not understanding that, as a man, I want to be respected as a man first, and then whatever title I accumulate, whether it comes in degrees or coaching or whatever the case may be, when you ask me, I want to help you as a man. Because being coach hunter is one thing, but being Jerry Hunter is everything because Jerry Hunter defines coach hunter. No matter what degrees you may have, if it was Dr. Hunter, I'd still be Jerry Hunter. And a lot of people tend to get caught up in that. Then your principles will start to change. And I'm talking about your value. And once your values begin to change, they may look down on a Barry Smith because he's trying to sell t-shirts or he wants to get together and try this project. Whereas, God has us in place to
Yeah.
help each other. They say each one teach one, but most so important, respect each other.
Yeah, I appreciate that, brother. Got a big game, a game. I don't know if you consider it big or a game. It's another day.
Yeah.
January 1st, you guys are playing tomorrow at about 5, give or take. And I think they do a really good job of keeping the game scheduled. And I think with Epic Hoop, he does a really good job of matching teams up and things like that as well. So, Walter Jackson?
Walter,
Yeah,
once again, he called and asked, and I was like, man, yeah, we'll support you.
yeah,
I'm gonna try to support as many folks as I can because we don't ever know when we're gonna need the support.
absolutely.
I mean, Horse Creek, John and those guys, Travis, they've done a good job. And as far as playing them, I say yes, we embrace the opportunity. I mean, to us, it's just the next game. I'm a kind of next game guy.
Right.
Going to Macon, it's just the next game that's on the schedule. So we're blessed. We need to learn a lot and grow. Of course, coaching at Grove Town, we had like 4 or 5 guys transfer them. 4 may have been starters. So we've been kind of working with what we got. And coming from Richmond County, basically, I've always, especially coaching inner city baseball, learned the essence of doing more with less. Okay. And, when you understand that, you don't complain, you just deal with the concerns. Because a lot of people's like, hey, man, I ain't going to complain. Well, I agree sometimes, but there are some things you need to be concerned about that may require you to ask one or two extra questions.
I heard you say you had some guys come back and get some runs in from, some kids that graduated and so on. And I know you do a really good job of keeping up with some of those kids that came through your program, whether they're still playing ball or whether they're in everyday life. I know you've mentored a lot of those guys. So how are those guys doing so far, in college at the college level?
Throughout the course of the first semesters, whether it's a guy that's in school for 2 or 3 years. And the beautiful thing is to kind of hear them now where they're at in their lives with basketball, but then where basketball is at in their lives. Because a lot of times, the older they get, the basketball priority tends to lessen a little bit because they realize, being in college and understand the importance of obtaining a degree. And even for the ones that want to play at the next level, where it's overseas or perhaps professional basketball in the National Basketball Association, you still have to work to get there. And I would like to think we've been a part of their work ethics because a lot of things change in terms of systems. Each coach may have a different system, but your work ethic has defined who you are within that system. Like you just mentioned, I invited some of the older guys back from town that was in college and some of the guys from over at Westside, that was on the state championship team. Last week we were all in the gym together and those guys got a chance to play some pickup ball. I told them it's important that you guys play college basketball now with guys that play college basketball
Yeah.
or guys who understand how to play. Because a lot of times people will try to build their reputation off you while you're at home, and then it costs you a major injury that's going to affect your scholarship funds. So it was a great time. I enjoyed it. Looking forward to creating something for those guys this upcoming summer, 2026. So be on the lookout for that as well.
Oh, I'd definitely like to be a part of. You and I talked about things like that way back when, but of course, me now working in the system, maybe some things a little bit different, versus working for a county versus being independent and such with the conflict of interest sometimes. Those are always things I had in my mind, and we probably discussed that way back when. I know I saw a highlight the other day of Bobby, somebody what's his name, Bobby, 'cause he saw him had like 2, 3 dunks in the game or something in a real game, I guess. I don't know what's his name, Bobby, somebody?
Bobby Blackwell, Big
Yeah.
Bad Bobby Jr. That is.
Yeah. And yeah, another young man go play New York, USA team. Who's that?
Yeah, that's Javon Well. He's doing well. He transferred from West Side, I think his junior year.
Yeah.
So he's been playing up north, making some noise.
Yeah.
Marco, he's doing well.
Yeah.
Zion Briggs, T Man, Kalon. So all those guys, man, that has come through the program. Bobo, doing well, and it makes me get a little older now. But in terms of these guys here, but being in the system for 20 plus years, man, you got guys that are fathers now. I don't think I got any that's grandfathers yet, but 'cause I'm one. But then again, that may be.
Big yeah, I'm sorry, me cut you off.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
But speaking of which, I like the beard. I know your family has a potion or a lotion or something to help you keep your beard. Is that correct?
Yes, my wife, she works up at Cut Bar.
Yeah,
And the stuff that I do my beard with, she has I think it's some lotion as well as some conditioner,
yeah.
shampoo. So stop by and check her out if y'all get a chance. Not only does she sell men products, but she sells women products as well.
Yeah, I remember when I talked about it, but my beard does not connect. So it was just gonna be a waste of I've been trying to draw it in, paint it in, rub it in, whatever. So it doesn't work for me. My beard just don't connect. And plus it's got gray. But yeah, I think our product looks good on you, man. So, shout out. I'm gonna definitely put a plug on there as far as that product looks good. So most of you guys should come check it out. If you got a full beard like this, man, get it looking right because mine is I try and it's a struggle beard. I just
Well,
it's just so well said, well said, well said. So tell me what you think about the studio.
oh
Here's the
man,
thing. The
yeah,
first time you was in this house,
yeah,
it was one thing. And then I had the other studio over there in town, another studio, then this. So now I'm back in the home studio. So what do you think?
yeah, it's nice, man. I see now. Prior to this, it was more so without the video.
Sure, sure, sure,
Now
sure.
you got the humble hustle, you got the execute, grind hustle. You control pillar of success is hustle. A
That's
lot
right.
of people tend to think, hustle is something you equate with the streets.
That's right.
All right, because naturally, man, I'm out here hustling, but in
Right.
life in general, I see people hustle to get degrees.
Yeah,
All right, and
absolutely.
I always say this here that success. All right, Cornel West said it best, and greatness are different. Success is being in the position. You've got to the position to make a difference. Okay, greatness is what you do. So I challenge anybody who's successful. Become great with your success, whether it's in education, business, or whatever the case may be. All right, it's what you do.
Absolutely, man. I definitely appreciate that. So it's kind of things like that, man. And it's so funny how it came across all these pieces because it's like you're right. Several people this week you said something about hustle, humble hustle, even on that light right there. So humble, I mean hustle. People usually think that as a negative word, but
Yeah,
it's not.
yeah.
You still out here hustling shirts. You still out here hustling. I'm not, what do you mean?
It's a mentality. Well, I always say it's a mindset that becomes a mentality once you put your mindset to work. Sitting down, if you're a coach, you're watching film.
Yeah,
All right, you're hustling, you're trying to figure out a way to make things better. Sometimes they say you're trying to figure out a way to get over.
mm,
Okay, but it's like, as far as getting over, what are you getting over on? You're getting over on yourself if you're not hustling. Okay, because it's an energy inside of you that's called your DNA. Yeah. Let me ask you a question, man. This community,
yeah,
Augusta,
yeah,
we've been having some issues with the You've been in this community for a while, school system, and our kids, man.
yeah.
That's a major concern of mine now, because you're seeing a lot going on when kids below the age of 16 are starting to get in, violent crimes.
Right.
What's going on with our children in the community, man?
It's tough. Too many times people say it's not TV, it's not this, it's not that. Well, I mean, it has a lot to do with it. In fact, I was just watching a movie last night. It's funny. I can't think of the name of it. It had Sanaa Lathan. She was director of it, and Method Man was in it. So it's talking about rapping. So the young lady, she was rhyming. Something happened at school, blah, 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 blah. So they got in the studio. She started doing the gangster rap stuff, or whatever the case may be. And then it caused the outbreaks. They got, aunt got shot and this and on so on forth. But then when she said, that's not me and so forth. So to answer your question, there's a lot of things that I can't put my finger on it, but I think just we all need to come together as a community. And as you mentioned, sports seem to be the crease of that. But the situation is we're forgetting about those kids who don't hoop. So I would love to have a program somewhere after school, weekends, holidays, whatever, to get those kids who want to learn how to do photography, those kids who want to dance because if they're not part of the football team or the basketball team, 'cause a lot of kids are at school, they don't want to go home. They're like there until like 9 o'clock, and I don't know how y'all do it because it couldn't be me. Hats off to y'all kids stand at 9 o'clock. You take them home and this, that, and the third, pick them up, all this stuff. I can't do it. There's a lot of I just cannot. You know. So back to your original question is like we got to figure out a way to occupy kids who don't have basketball as a dream or football as a talent or band as or whatever case may be, we need outlets for kids who don't do those things, who could not because they're gonna do something.
Yeah, yeah. I think what you're saying too, man, is important. Is that as adults, out on the vision and the essence of that word community, because community simply means common unity. If you break it down, all right, and teams are one thing.
Absolutely.
That's a group of people.
Absolutely.
Okay, but so are gangs.
Absolutely.
So they're both a group of
Absolutely.
individuals. So each one of them, both of them have structures. So it's like a lot of our kids now, whereas they used to find identity with themselves in that group called a team, they may be finding identity with themselves now in that group that's called a gang.
Right.
But it's like, when a gang get together and does something positive, it becomes an organization. So how can we get both of these groups here to come together to say that, man, look, both of y'all are working together. All right, it's just how can we do something to help the community? Because it's so easy to do something negative, which folks say destroys the community. But when you're a product of the environment, if it's hot, you're going to take your shirt off. If it's cold, you're going to put your coat on. So your environment is going to determine your behavior. Okay. Your behavior determines your consequence. So we kind of get away from emotional EQ, emotional quotient. All right. Your emotional quotient is how you respond to something. And a lot of our kids now don't understand that. So naturally, if you don't understand your emotional quotient, that means how you respond to something, how you respond to your environment. What happens then is it stimulates a behavior. Well, the behavior, guess what? You might have a good reason to be mad, but they're not going to, your consequences aren't going to come from why you was mad. It's going to come from what you did when you got mad. You get it?
I do.
Yeah, so I think we need to figure out, man, how to promote emotional intelligence. But we're so focused on IQ, intellectual intelligence, or intellectual quotient, that we want you to be smart, but we want you to know how to behave when you're smart too, as well, or when you're angry.
That reminds me of a gentleman got a podcast, Grits and Eggs podcast. He said something. It was so deep. This brother is definitely very deep what he's talking about. He said that when it comes to certain things like you mentioned, getting out of the community, if a kid or a person is talented in sports, put them at this school. Out of the community. If they're talented intellectually, take them out of this school and put them in that school, him or her in that school. So all your good things and positive things, your great exciting things, the talented things are being put somewhere else. What's your philosophy on that? But no, this is a great podcast. You listen to a Grits and Eggs podcast. You definitely got it going on.
Well, I mean, you kind of left with what you got,
Exactly. Exactly.
okay?
Yeah.
And then it's okay. What do we do
Yeah.
with what we got?
Right.
I mean, because it happens all the time. And if you're going to take things and put them in certain places to grow, then it's okay how we're going to grow what we got. And I think emotional quotient should be the foundation of growing them because no matter who you are, and if you got $5 in your pocket or $500,000 in your pocket, all right, you do the wrong thing, your behavior is going to determine the consequence.
Hmm.
Okay. And you might have a reason why somebody's got you mad. You get it? But it's how you respond. And I think right now, our kids aren't taught that at the right age. We're struggling in this community here, but not only here, in the Grovetown community as well. Communities in Aiken as well, because it's a United States problem, or should I say, a national problem.
This is what I pose, and this is something I thought about for my classes as well. It's like I'm saying it to everybody in the community. When I was at certain schools, a lot of schools, I see a lot of volunteer coaches, football, basketball, baseball, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. I wish we got the same type of volunteerism for those who don't coach, right? If you're a nurse, come show kids how to nurse. If you're an electrician, come support the electricians in the programs. If you're a barber, a baker, or whatever it is. But I see sidelines. I was at one school, they had it's like more coaches than players. So we had that same type of community involvement in school that are not coaching. Then we back to mentoring kids in other elements and other trades, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, once again, what are you going to do with what you got
Exactly.
versus what you have? And sometimes those two things don't match out. But even as coaches, I think at one point in time, coaches were very instrumental. Coach could get something done that a pastor couldn't get done.
Oh yeah, for
Could
sure.
get something done that a principal couldn't get done. But then it turned into who won. Okay, who's winning? And then it turned into, well, I'm going to take all these kids and put them on one team. Well, then it turns into, okay, these kids on this team don't know how to share. Okay, but they're winning. But then ultimately in life, we're losing, especially when it comes to community involvement. So maybe the coaches can get together. We coaches, should I say, as one. I'm an older coach now. So, hey, man, y'all younger guys, it's going to be a lot tougher on you all because there's an integrity in this thing that's called loyalty. It's just what are you going to be loyal to?
Yeah. And away from that, like I said, my thing when it comes to lines of sports and entertainment has always been built around some sports or entertainment, but it's because I focus on the business of it. Like I told, I never dribbled the ball or anything. I never rapped, did jokes on anybody's stage in here in this city. Did in Japan when I was in California in the Navy, but here, there, none of that. But also, what's his name on the Masters podcast? More than the Masters podcast, he does a really good job. He has some really good people on this podcast talking about the things in the community. So while I talk more about stuff in school and sports or whatever it is because I know there's a crease in our community. It just is.
Yeah.
And I just don't know many people outside of that because I'm pretty busy with school and so on and whatever. But like I said, part of the Masters podcast, he does a really good job of kind of, introducing some of those topics. I know he talked with the sheriff and the mayors and a whole lot of people who get a chance. So if you get a chance to check that podcast out, More Than the Masters, got a really good stuff going on.
Read this book called Sheep No More, and you and military guy, and they talked about critical assets. You know, the mindset of when countries, um, pretty much go to wars. That each country knows the other country's critical assets. Critical assets. We all know what assets mean.
Absolutely.
Okay, and right now our critical assets are our kids,
Yeah, that's true.
and that's why our communities struggle because our critical assets are under attack with a mentality. All right, and it's a mentality of self-destruction.
And they are it. I mean, whether they say, the policy about keeping kids in school and when they leave school, whether they want them in this institution or in that institution or whatever institution, they want them somewhere, whether it be college, whether it's at a job or some other institution, they are the resources or the access to all these other things that the building blocks of this country.
Or critical asset.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
they're critical assets, or we don't know what to protect.
Yeah. And you know me, I love my I love my I wish I was this. I love those Navy SEAL. I love those Navy SEAL books. And like I said, just all the time, man, just that tactical. I just love that tactical. I could watch those movies and you see my little Navy dude over here and the little army Jeep right there. But that's been my background. I'm telling anyone now that the military was probably one of the best things that I could have done. After leaving high school, I went to college for like a year, some change. That was just over it. I just been in school for 13, 14 years to do what? So went to the military, traveled all over. So I see people on Facebook going across. How many of these cities have you been to in your life? Oh, mine are off the charts. Y'all didn't even list the stuff that half the stuff that I've been on. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So if it wasn't for the military, I wouldn't have this. You was out there on the farm and
yeah,
outdoor stuff like that. So you came out there. So that's just in me in nature. My dad did a lot of fishing, grew up in the countries.
yeah.
During the hurricane, we were well suited for whatever. I didn't flinch at all. Generators, 2 generators, solar panels, inverters, hours, mobile, everything. I was like, huh, hurricane.
I'm
What are you
here.
talking about? And you've been, I've been doing this stuff for years, getting prepared for this stuff like that. So yeah, bring it on.
Got to get back to the basics, man.
Percent.
Got to get back to the basics, and you can't put the roof on first. Got to build the foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pull some pictures from that event we had out there. But man, I'm gonna let you go. I know you got practice today. I
yeah,
got some
yeah.
stuff at New Year's Eve and things of that nature.
Yeah,
Thank
we're
you for
gonna go in
coming
and
by.
prepare. Appreciate the invitation, man. When you call, I find the time, and I've been with you to this point here. So hey,
Yeah, though, don't here it is right here. Check me out.
live off the grid.
Survival guide. I mean,
Bye bye.
it's endless. I mean, cozy cabins, right?
Yeah,
It's all the same. I don't just talk about this stuff. I actually do this for real.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
do this for real.
yeah.
Yeah. I was like, bro, do what you do. Bring it on. I couldn't wait for something like that. I've been waiting. I have like 2 kayaks. I have a raft, ATV. And I told the kids I have a raft, right? They're like, what do you do with a raft? So I was at the high school over in South Augusta.
Yeah.
And if you drive through the roads and stuff like that, trees were down and came across some stuff. I got a video. I could just blow up my inflatable raft, jump on that river over there, and I gotta get to the next thing. So I pull the raft out, inflate it, leave the vehicle, get in the raft, and go up the river. I have to, whatever it takes. I mean, whether it's that's how the Navy SEALs do it: land, air, water, underground, whatever the case may be. I was ready, man. I mean, and I believe in this stuff. Yeah, a raft, bro. I got an inflatable raft in my vehicle just in case.
Big time.
Hey, it was on sale. I got it it was brand new out the box. Someone in North Augusta said they never tried it. Paid like $60 for it. Yeah.
That's
We gotta go kayak on that, and we went biking one time. So yeah, we
yeah,
gotta go.
yeah. I gotta change a little bit now too. So
Don't worry about it, man.
yeah,
Come
I'm
on,
not
man. Come on, man.
concerned about
Come on,
it.
man. Come on. All right, bro.
I
Wish you
appreciate
well.
your time, man.
Yeah,
Yes,
brother, right?
yes,
Friend,
brother,
brother, mentor, coach,
man.
business, confidant, blah blah, all that good
Yeah,
stuff.
man of God, child of God. You know how I go.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. All right. Thanks. You guys,
Appreciate
happy New Year, all that good
it.
stuff.
Happy New Year. Big shout out. 2026. Big things are happening.
Yeah,
Big things are happening. Remember me telling you, the success, like they say, is here. All right. It isn't on the way. It's here.
got it. 10-4. All right. Y'all be good. Thank you again. Last night, thank you for all your support. Last night, hit 1,002 subscribers. So all you guys who've been support, right. Yeah, so hit that 1,000
He's on the
mark.
way.
Yeah. So thank you guys for all the support who thought it wasn't robbery to just subscribe because it costs you absolutely nothing. So 1,002. If you see this again, Lando Sports and Entertainment, subscribe. It costs you nothing. It'll help us with this mission, whether it's basketball, football, whether it's in the classroom, whatever it is, we're here to support all that.
Life skill.
Life skills.
Common unity is the definition of community.
That's right. Looking for some kids that need some work. I'm glad to help you with some audio video stuff. And as a math teacher, I'm here to help you with tutoring, those SATs, ADVAB, all that stuff. Call me up. I can help you with that. I'm that guy. That's right. Peace.